And welcome back to Janky AF. Now what if I told you that for the janky sum of $2,000, you could afford a classic sports car whose engine was designed by a man who worked for Ferrari in the early 1950s, building V12 engines that were successfully campaigned in racing for the famous Italian automaker. A car who is mid-engined, rear-wheel drive, with a manual transmission and two trunks in both the front and the rear, and is also a hardtop coupe as well as a convertible. A car whose beautiful exterior was penned by the same man who designed the Lamborghini Miura, arguably the most beautiful car of all time, as well as other such legends as the Lamborghini Countach, the Lancia Stratos, and even the first generation BMW 5 Series. And a car that, as of this publication, to the best of my knowledge, has not been reviewed by Doug Demuro, Tavarish, Hoovie's Garage, Regular Car Reviews, or JM on Cars. Well then, I would of course be talking about the most criminally underrated sports car of all time, the legendary Fiat X1. In this case, in a brilliant oro metallic color. Now this car was originally delivered to Hawaii. I bought it sight unseen. This is Janky AF and my neighbor's making all sorts of noise with the tractor, but he's a great dude. And I bought it sight unseen for the janky sum of $2,000, and we're gonna have a lot of videos coming up soon with this car. When I bought it, it was not running, and it may or may not be running currently, but you're gonna find out all about it on Janky AF. So stay tuned, and Janky do thanky. All right, so that was maybe just too much of a tease. I had to give you a little something more. So I'm just gonna do a quick walk around of the car. It's a 1982 model. These actually ran from 72 to 89, if you can believe that. 1982 is right in the middle. A lot of people don't like those big US bumpers, but I actually don't mind them. I think it makes the car look even longer. I like the proportions it adds. 82 or 81, depending on if they were California cars or not, started fuel injection, so it actually brags about fuel injection on that badge, which is funny. And that's around the same time that they were upgraded with the 1500cc engine from a 1300 and a 5-speed transmission instead of a 4-speed. I believe that was in 1979 or 1980. And obviously it's got some rust and whatnot on it. It originally was delivered to Hawaii, which is a big selling point on the car. And I bought it off a fella named Jerry in Long Island, and it sat for a while. But it was complete. The shock towers all look good. Most of the rust is surface rust, just unfortunate. Probably that Hawaii sea salt, you know. The interior is beautiful. That little teak box around the gauges there, that's a custom piece too, which I think really fits the car actually. I was really happy to get that. Bar tab shifter, another one of the features of this car, and you can see a mess of wires behind it as we will be doing some electrical work to the car, as all Italian cars need. But here's one thing that won't break, hopefully, is a crank window, which I always enjoy on a car. The gauges are notable because they have the reverse tachometer. It goes in the opposite direction. I think it's such a cool thing that no other cars do, and obviously the needles are a little bent there, but I think that's such a cool feature, and when you see that in action, you know it has like a duality or like a nice symbiosis to it. There's the Bertoni logo. Obviously Bertoni, the design firm that Marcello Gandini worked for, who was the designer of this car and the others, as I've mentioned. And there's your little badge with the fuel injection. My Ford Aerostar also brags about fuel injection, so that's like a little common theme for me. But just great badging. That you can see the crest of the racing around the Fiat logo. It's just it has all this Italian theater to it, and it's just, I think, just like a stunning car with so much real, like, prestige to it in terms of the people behind it and how they made it. So stay tuned for more. This is Janky AF. We're a growing young channel. We'd appreciate your support and subscribing, liking, commenting, all that, of course. And we won't beat you over the head with it, but really excited about this Fiat and where we're going to go with it. And I think it's just such a sort of underrated car. So looking forward to more. And for Janky AF, we say Janky do thanky.